Hi folks, I hope you're well. So, this video is talking about a subject I have covered a few times before as well. This one is talking about the fact that anything at all that you put before God, anything, is a God. Because anything you put over God must therefore be God or a God, because you're putting it higher than your relationship with God. That's what I said, and that's why God said to me, you're supposed to be in love. Not love, in love. God is supposed to be the most wonderful and amazing thing in your life. If that isn't true, then yeah, that's what I say. You can see with people, you can see how people react. You can see how people react to songs. Well, like Dave Enderby, I knew, okay, I did a CD for Dave of songs that are a real blessing to me. Some of them are worldly songs, some of them are from the group for King and Country because he hadn't heard of their songs. Did that CD for him, gave him that CD. 3 weeks afterwards, had he even listened to it? No. Because when someone says to him, these songs really point me to God, does he care? No. So therefore, I will never make him another CD of songs because there's no point. He doesn't care about them. So therefore, again, I will say to you this other point that has always been a point as well. A lot of people make themselves busy. They make themselves busy. They say they don't have time for this and time for that and time for this and time for that. That is also complete utter crap. You do. People always have time for things they want to give time to. And again, that is their God. That's why, as I said, in COVID, I was incredibly frustrated because I knew that all the crap you'd heard from people over the years saying, if I just had a bit more time, I'd do this and that. They've now got all the time in the world during COVID. A lot of people are working from home. A lot of people weren't working. They were sent home with pay. They weren't working. They had time. They had time like they never believed or thought they could have time. And what did they do with it? Well, everything they said they would do if they had time, they didn't do. Did they have more time with God? Nope. More time with their wife or husband? Nope. No. People make themselves busy, and yeah, it is very much the case. Where certain people that I've met have made themselves very busy. Yeah. And yeah. All the things they do to make themselves busy, they're putting all those things before God. So all those things for God. And yeah. In church, they need to be speaking this stuff. They need to help people to understand this. Because if God says I'm a very jealous God, then understand that. Understand the point. As I say, when it's said you're supposed to be in love with God, then rather than just rejecting that, think about it. Why? Why is that the case? Why is it the case that you're supposed to be more in love with God than any other thing in your life? Why is that the case? Because even your husband or wife can be a God over God. And if that's the case, guess what's going to happen? Your relationship with God will suffer and the devil will get in. Right? And your marriage will therefore suffer because of that. No husband thinks that he should be above God. No good husband, sorry. No good wife thinks that they should be above God. So when you're putting them above God, either that person is a bad husband or wife, or they know that your marriage is in trouble. And so, yeah. With all of this stuff, understanding. You have to have understanding. Of course. And that's why it's important for truth and understanding to be spoken in church, even when it can be offensive, because the reality is, sometimes if you're in a relationship where your marriage is in trouble because you're putting your husband or wife before God, knowing that and understanding that's a problem may help you to fix it. You might be offended initially when you hear it, but knowing it means you have a chance to fix it. Yes? That's what I say to me. I couldn't care less whether people like me. Put it this way, I'll add a bit to what I said earlier about people liking you. What was also on my mind earlier was, understand it in this way, right? About being liked and stuff like that. Does anyone think that if the border collie cared about what the sheep thought about him, would he chase the sheep? Would he do that? No. Would he try and control the sheep in any way, shape or form? No. Because obviously being chased by a border collie would be quite stressful for the sheep, wouldn't it, really? When you think about it. So would the sheep like that dog? No. Would they understand what that dog is doing? No, of course not. And a teacher is supposed to be like that. Because the Lord tells us his people are sheep. They need to be led. If they need to be led, then they will be led by someone who is like a sheepdog. Right? Sheepdog could not care less about the feelings of the sheep and what the sheep think about that dog. Couldn't care less. That dog thinks more about the master and what the master thinks about the dog. And pleasing the master. Truth is really important. The lack of truth is why the church is in the mess it's in. Now, could go on about the fact that it was given to the devil, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. The lack of truth. What's going to bring the church back to God is truth. Truth. I say, if truth will set you free, then truth will set the church free. Right? Truth has been one of the biggest problems for church. If you want to deal with that, then it's quite easy to deal with, but you have to bring truth into the darkness. And you have to not care what people think, because you're going to have people speaking about you in a negative way. You're going to have people saying that they don't want you anywhere near the church or anywhere near their church. You're going to have people saying that you're wrong, you can't be of God, because why would God use you? Well, as I said, think about the people that God used. Even think about Moses. Moses was a murderer. Right? He had to run and hide because he had murdered someone. Yes? Now, of course, he had murdered someone who was being unkind to a Jewish person, but he still murdered someone. He still took someone's life, right? So this whole idea that God chooses lovely, nice people that have never done anything wrong, no. Utter rubbish. So, yeah, if you're not liked by other people, it means you're probably doing a pretty good job. Because, as I say, the sheepdog is not liked by the sheep. If you're liked by the people, then you're not doing a good job. So you take care. God bless. Speak to you soon.